everybody, it's Christine. It is time for a process video for my Creative Ambassador for Peace Craft Love kit this month. And I'm kind of fanning this out so you can kind of see what's in it. But I will also show you on the website. You find it in the, well, how do I find this? Stash Starter section. And I have this Peace Craft Love Stash Starter 10 sheets, 2 of 5 designs, Heidi Swapp's storyline chapters. And it's, I don't know if it's going to always be $5. It might be because, I don't know, today's Saturday. I know she does $5 Friday, so I'm not really sure. But I know this is definitely the kit. So, y'all make sure to check that out because it is a stash starter. And again, here's the papers. You can kind of see this is a front, back, front, back, front, back, front, back, front, back. Okay? And the picture I have is this, I don't want to use the word goofy. It's me and my daughter, and I use that app for the painting looking thing. I did this a while back, so this is actually an old little screenshot, but whatever. And then she also sent a little sequence mix, so I might use that. Now, since it's just papers, you know, I have to find my own embellishments. Now, obviously, I'm going to use the cut-aparts. There's the cut-aparts in here, and those are definitely very usable. So those will be used, or at least some of them will. And then I got into my stash, and I'm sorry if y'all hear noises in the background. We have got a plumbing issue, and my husband called a plumber, and he's having a good time talking to that man in there. And I say good time, and I'm using that a little bit sarcastically. But anyways, I have some ephemera here. I believe it's Maggie Holmes, if I'm honest. But the colors look like I can use them. So I've set these out. I pulled these out. I kind of want to use this bigger diamond piece, y'all. I think it'll be pretty. It's kind of got this peachy tone to the wood grain. And I think that might be pretty. I don't know that I'll use the parts on the inside, but I kind of want to use this big piece. And plus, I think it kind of matches the skin tones of this thing. So I think that's kind of neat. And then I pulled out, it's called Beautiful Day Thickers. And it's got some of these things here. There's some words and stuff that kind of go, to my mind, the theme of the kit here. So I think I can use some of that. And then I also pulled out this Echo Parks Have Faith. I don't know for sure I can use these, but I did like this God Gave Me You. So wherever you go, I'll go. So I might can use something in here. We'll have to see. I kind of want to. So I should make it work, right? Okay. So that's what I'm starting with. From an inspiration standpoint, let me find it real quick here. Where was I at? No. Maybe. Oh, I'd say this off of Instagram. It's Scrap the Boys Challenge. And it was done by Debbie Tarani. I think I've actually done something similar to this. I really don't remember. And I'm not even sure I'm going to end up looking anything like this. But I do like this photo strip kind of dimensional thing. So I'm kind of imagining that's my diamonds. And the pictures on here. And then there's tags and things. So again, I don't know if this is going to look anything like this. I do like little tear peekaboos. So I might do that. She's got a lot of mixed media and stuff on here. I don't know that I'm going to do that. I really don't know. I just saw this, and again, I think the photo strip kind of struck me as, oh, that's a dimensional thing. I might can use that as an idea and a jumping off point. So we'll see what I end up with, if it's going to look anything like that. But if it does, I want y'all to know who inspired me. All right, let me get started here. I haven't picked out exactly which papers or anything like that quite yet. So let me get started, and I'll come back on soon. Okay, what I decided to use is this background sheet. Is actually, it looks a little bit like a fabric, like a burlap or something, like a white burlap. And then there's these pretty little flower print in the lower right corner. And then I've got this polka dot that I'm going to put behind on the top and the bottom here because I am going to take the inspiration and tear my top and bottom. So I've got a little double-sided tape. I'm just going to line up these tops up here. I do the whole stripe across. I've seen where people, you know, maybe it's a little bit of a waste of paper of the polka dot, I mean, just because I could have made, you know, 2 smaller pieces or something like that. But I found this easier because I can line it up right up underneath the 12 by 12. So I'm going to go ahead and just put these 2 behind the 12 by 12. And I do the double-sided tape away from the edge so that I can tear when I set this down here. So here's where I'm going to go ahead and tear the little hole at the top up here. Now, y'all, I've done broke my fingernail, the front, my little pointy finger there. And you'll see me in a second, I'm going to struggle to tear the bottom one because my fingernail broke. And I'm kind of upset about it because they were real all nice and long and the same size and all that. And now I'm sad because I'm probably going to have to cut that fingernail. And it's going to take weeks to grow back. First world problems, I know. But you can see there I had to use the scissors to kind of cut into that paper because I couldn't get my darn fingernail to tear it. So here I am. I'm just going to tear apart these little pieces here. And then I am going to fold them back just a little bit with my fingernails. you know, kind of making it a little bit rough there. I like that part on the inspiration layout. All right, now I'm going to pull off this diamond deal. And here's the sad part. I actually enjoyed having this on here. I like it. I think it looks great. But then I covered up most of it. But maybe that's just the way it is. So I'm going to lay this down. I'm not going to stick it real sticky stick, though, because in the inspiration, she was kind of layering stuff behind her little photo strip. And I want to be able to stick stuff behind here. And I do stick quite a bit of stuff kind of behind and all that. So I'm going to play around with this for just a minute. All right, so the first thing I did, too, is on these little tags here, I had to punch the holes because that came out of the cut aparts. Now, I'm going to covering up pretty much all the words. There's a little bit of words on the top of the yellow one that'll end up poking out just a little bit, but all the pink stuff gets kind of covered up. I'm just using it for the colors, really. Oh, and I don't even have that pink one down just yet. So now I decided to map my photos. I did use the little pink floral. I thought that was pretty. And again, I think I mentioned, well, no, I didn't mention it. That's a lie. The pink florals to me went kind of with the skin tone on our picture here, so I really like that with it. And then I'm going to use that gray right there as the second photo mat. I contemplated using the polka dot in between to kind of tie it back in, but honestly, it just felt too harsh against the floral with the gray, and I just didn't care for it, so I didn't use it there. So I'm just going to trim this up a little bit. I will end up scuffing the edges of my photo mats here, just to kind of tie it back into little torn pieces on the top and the bottom there. I think I bumped my little mat thing here, and it turned the light on, and then somehow that makes my camera adjust, and so now it looks a little bit yellow to me, so I'm going to apologize. I hope you continue to watch. It looks a little funky to me. I lost my kind of whitish. I don't know why it does that. I guess it just adjusts to what it thinks is the lighting outside or whatever, but anyways, I think I bumped that. This is a kind of a neat little mat. It's by Caterpillar, and I took there's a cutting mat that normally goes on it. I took it off because I tend to, you know, sprinkle like inks and things, and I was worried it was going to get on that cutting mat and ruin it. And I really don't use cutting mat that often. I very rarely poke holes and stuff, or, you know, use a knife or whatever to cut things. So I just didn't even, I pulled it off, and it's set to the side. If I need it, I can put it on here. Otherwise, I just kind of use this as honestly, it helps me stay in place. And I do kind of, when I sprinkle inks, it's not a big deal. I can wipe it right off. But sometimes I bump, it's a touch light, you know, that little circle up there in the upper left corner. If you just bump it, it turns it on. So, oops. All right, so here's where I'm kind of trying to figure out the placements here. I want this little card. Where I'm running into trouble, why I'm having such trouble with it, is if I tilt it a certain kind of way, it covers up the bottom S, and I don't want to cover up the bottom S, because so I had tilted the picture kind of to the left, and I tilt that, and it ends up being a little funky. So I'm playing with that, and I've got it settled down where I want it right now, but it ends up getting moved, so I'll have to fix it again. I do have this little card here that says you and me, and I really enjoy that. My daughter and I are really close, if I'm honest. I love her. She loves me. We have a really good relationship. I was so blessed. I never went through that rocky teenage time with her. We've always been good buddies, and she's my running buddy, and she's not in town right now. She's living somewhere else, and it kind of breaks my heart, if I'm honest. So I like to do pictures of us, and yeah. So anyway, it says stay close to those who feel like sunshine. I really kind of wish I was close to her, but it'll be all right. I guess someday maybe she'll come back home. She's a little bird now. She's flown the nest. She's old enough, you know. She's 24, so it isn't like, you know, she shouldn't. And it is what it is. They grow up and move on, right, mamas? Okay, so I've got my little cards to the left, to the right, and I got a second tag up there. I stuck that pink tag up there. Now what am I doing, y'all? Have I put that little diagonal piece there? I don't really know. I can't tell. The little bubbles over the top of it. I did put a little, I can tell you that I know on the layout I put like a triangle-y gold patterny looking thing underneath the left side of the photo. And then I put a little fishtail banner of this blue striped looking thing there under the right side of the photo, kind of. And then I take this polka dot and I do insert that between those, it kind of goes up underneath the diamonds, and it creates another layer. Now, the reason I'm doing all this, y'all, is because on the inspiration, she had just so many paper layers, and I really like that. So I'm trying to recreate that kind of feeling with all these paper layers and stuff, which is why I mentioned again a minute ago, all my cards get moved around again because I haven't glued them down yet, because I knew I was going to be moving stuff up underneath this diamond. I was kind of, like I said, I'm kind of a little bit sad. I covered up so much of the diamonds, but I can still see them, so I think it's okay. All right, so now I've gone over and got my string. I have to cut some of this stuff out, y'all, because it takes me just a few minutes to glue stuff down and just figure stuff out sometimes. So hopefully you don't miss too much, and come back in here when something, you know, makes makes them a little more impact, right? So like adding string to my tags. So I just went and grabbed my string and I'm adding to my tags, and I just do the loop pull through deal, nothing fancy, and I'll trim those back just a little bit. I don't glue these down. A lot of times I will glue down my strings on my tags if I wanted to stay in a very specific spot. These are not too bad. I don't think they're going to move around a lot, so they kind of stay where they're at. I don't really glue these down at this point. What am I doing right now, y'all? I think I'm looking for the little chipboard pieces and things like that I want to use. I have no idea. Oh, I pulled that ephemera out. So I start to use this Maggie Holmes stuff. I end up just using the butterflies. I like the black and white butterflies, so I end up using those. And then I find this little chipboard, the 2 chipboard pieces off that little Simple Stories deal. One says He Created, and I put that above the You and Me. So it's He Created You and Me. And then there's a little chipboard that says Wherever You Go, I'll Go, and that's in Ruth. It's a little verse out of Ruth. So I put that on underneath the little card over there. What am I doing? Oh, and then I found this other little chipboard piece. The little card up there said This Moment, and I added Wake Up with a Purpose, and I kind of like that. She's so, I hate to use the word ambitious, and I don't want it to come across negative. She's not ambitious in a negative way, but she just has goals, you know, goals and dreams and stuff, and she wants to live her life with purpose, so that's why I stuck that on there. And then I did find these other 2 little chipboard pieces. It says Soft-Hearted and Strong-Minded, and she's definitely that as well. She's soft-hearted and strong-minded. And then I had run over and got these little buttons out of a hip kit collection. I kind of had thought of it. I saw on her the inspiration layout. There's a lot of little buttons and things. And I ran over there and I go, oop, these are the same color palette. So I'm just kind of poking these little buttons kind of in the same place that the inspiration layout had them. I don't really know if it's 100% the same because I'm just kind of trying to also create my little visual triangles and things like that. But anyway, I find different little buttons. The colors look good and I'm happy with this. So I'm just kind of putting these around, and I'm going to, I have to use my Nuvo glue and glue this stuff down because it's not sticking. I realize it's kind of rocking. I did put that You and Me on top of the diamond, and I put the Stay Close to Those Who Feel Like Sunshine on top of the diamond. And you can kind of see I've got some stuff under the diamonds and some stuff on the diamonds. And I like how this kind of goes back, you know, the different layers. It's just really layered and textured. I love this. This is kind of a more is more layout, you know, in a good way, I think. So what am I doing here? I'm just kind of thinking I'm one of those, I like to touch and feel, right? You know, there's people that do the digital scrapbooking, and some of them are so pretty, and I mean, I do like them, like visually, I like look at them, but for myself to create them is hard because I like to touch and feel my things. I like the texture. I love the smell of new paper, if I'm honest. So I do some graphic stuff, you know, some other little creative graphic things on, you know, for like, frankly, for marketing stuff, but not for scrapbooking, not really for scrapbooking. Maybe for sketches. I have created some of my own sketches, but anyway, I'm off on a tangent right now. I'm just filling out these butterflies. Okay, I had to cut away there because my husband come calling for me to come check the plumbing that was working and after the plumber got a hold of it. Y'all, that was kind of expensive, I ain't gonna lie. That was a real disappointing situation, but at least it's all working now. So I had to cut away for a minute, but I'm back over here and I'm sticking these little buttons down. And then I will in a second, I decide to go get the ink. I decide to pull out a little bit of Lindy Stamp Gang because I think, you know what? She's got tons of mixed media on her layout. I'm going to put a little bit mixed media here. I would not suggest to you it's anywhere close to what she's got going on because I think she's got paste and everything else. But I do put a little bit of sparkle on here, and it's kind of in a pink. It's got a little bit of rose gold shimmer to it, and I think it's perfect. I actually had looked at a rose gold glitter paper. I thought about using it, and I thought, no, Christine, there's plenty of paper in this stash starter. You don't need to add another piece of paper. There's no reason to do that. So I didn't do it, but I do like the rose gold with this color palette. And then I decided I am going to put these little sequins on here, so I'm just going to drop a little glue here and there. And then that's all I'm going to do the layout. Now, I'm going to be honest with y'all. I forgot to take the little slow down picture video or whatever, so all you get to see now is the little close-ups. So hopefully you enjoyed that, and please be sure to check out the link below over at Peacecraft Love. She has some really good deals, surprise boxes, all the good stuff. And I'm going to be having videos every day this month, so don't forget to like and subscribe, and we will talk to you next time. Bye-bye.